Hey everyone, in this video we will be looking at a bit more complex example of static routing in GNS3. This is video number 2 in the series. If you haven't watched the first video, I will provide a link for that video in the description. Go and watch that video to get a better hold on static routing topic. So let's start the video. First we will discuss what is static routing. In static routing, we manually define paths that the packet should take in a network. So next we have to discuss our network topology. Our network is going to be consisting of 3 routers and 3 PCs, and our task is to configure static routes for these PCs so that they can communicate with each other. For example, PC1 can communicate with PC2 and PC3 and so on. Next we will jump in GNS3 and create a new project. I am in GNS3, so going to files, new blank project. We will name it as. Okay, so we have created our project. So our next step is to add devices. So as we have discussed earlier, we will be adding 3 router and 3 PCs. So let me just write quickly. So we have added the devices that we will be using in our network topology. Next, we have to connect these devices. Okay, so we have connected these devices. Our next task is to assign IP addresses to these devices. Before this step, I will write the IP addresses that I will be assigning to devices for clarity. And before that, let me just display all the interfaces. Okay. I have write all the IP addresses that I will be giving these routers or devices. So first I will provide this router's interface, which is F0 by 0, this IP address. To assign IP address, right click on the router. Go into custom console, select whatever you want. I will select PuTTY, click OK. Okay, so before that we have to start all the devices. Click on this run button. Click on custom console, PuTTY selected. Make the font bigger. Font is perfect. So first I will write config to enter in configuration mode. Enter again interface. What is the interface name? Fast Ethernet, and it is 0 by 0. To give IP address, I will write IP address 192.168.1.1 and mask will be 255.255.0. Click enter. No shutdown. And perfect. So we have provide this port of router 1, this IP address. Next I will provide this interface, which is F2 by 0, this IP address. So for that I will write interface Ethernet 2 by 0 IP address and a mask 0.0, and then no shutdown. So perfect. We are done with router 1. So let's move on to router 2. First we will provide F0 by 0 this IP address, then we will move on to F2 by 0 and then F3. Interface fast Ethernet 0 by 0. Let's provide an IP 10.0.0.2. No shutdown. Perfect. So let assign other interface. Interface 2 by 0 IP address. What IP address we have to assign? It's 20.0.0.1. 0.0. No shutdown. Okay. So next we will assign interface F3 by 0 this IP address. This is 192.168.2.1. No shutdown. That's okay. So we are done with router 2. Now it's time to configure router 3. Enter config mode. First interface. Fast Ethernet 0x1. Let's provide what is wrong over here. That's a typo. Interface. We have interface 0x0 over here. So we have assigned router 1 and router 2 IP addresses. Now it's done for router 3. To assign router 3, we will go in custom console. Interface. What IP address we have to assign is 20.0.0.2. And the mask is going to be 0.0. Right, no shutdown. Next, we have to assign this port number or interface this IP address, which is 192.168.3.1. So yes, this is perfect. Now we have to write no shutdown. Okay, so till now we have configured all these routers and we have configured all these ports of routers and given them IP addresses for now. Next, we have to assign these PCs the IP addresses. To assign PC1 IP address, just right click, custom console, make sure put is selected or whatever you like. To assign PC1 the IP address, we will give IP, whatever you want. I will provide address which is similar to this 192.168.1.2. 1.2 and our mask will be 0.0. Next, we have to provide our gateway. So what path other devices will follow or choose to reach PC1, and that is going to be this one, this path number. So I will write 192.168.1.1 as our gateway for PC1. Okay, 192.168.1.1. It will check for duplicate addresses. So yeah. Next, we have to assign PC2 an IP address. And this will be our mask. You can give whatever IP address you like. So I have provided 192.168.2.2, which is similar to this network and belongs to this network. And next we have provided an IP address. Next we have to provide a gateway. So what gateway this PC2 will use? Yeah, you guessed right, this one. So we will write 192.168.2.1, right? Okay, so this is done. Now PC3. IP. So I will provide 168.3.2, 255.255.0, and gateway will be 192.168.3.1. Perfect. We have assigned the IP addresses. Our next step is to configure static routing. So let's jump back into GNS3. First, we have to configure router 1. Router 1 only knows about this network, which is 192.168.1.0, and this network 10.0.0.0 network. Okay, we have to tell it about the network of PC2 and the network of PC3, so that PC1 can communicate with PC2 and PC3. For that, we will jump into router 1 configuration. Router 1. Okay, so here we have to write some commands. Let me write and explain it to you. IP route. So which network we want to that R1 should know. So what is this network? We have provided IP address 192.168.2.2, and here the IP is 192.168.2.1. So the whole network I am assuming is 192.168.2.0. Okay, so I will write 192.168.2.0. 255.255.255.0, and which gateway or route it will use. It is going to be this one. Okay, so I will write this as the gateway for IP route for R1. I will write 10.0.2. So yeah, next we have to add this network's address into R1 so that PC1 can send or receive response from PC3. For that purpose, what I am going to write is IP route, the network of this address, and what gateway I will be providing. Yes, you guessed right. I will be providing 10.0.0.2 because R1, all the responses will leave from this and will go into this point, and after that it's the job of R2 or R3 to do the remaining work. I hope you get the point. So let's provide it. 192.168.3.0. So perfect. We have configured static routing for R1. Now let's jump into R2. So router 2 only knows about this network, which is 10.0.0.2, this network 192.168.2.0, and this network which is 20.0.0.0. Okay, we have to tell that the network of PC1 and the network of PC2. For that purpose, what we will be writing? So yeah, the command will be IP route this network which is 192.168.1.0, and what is going to be the gateway? This one will be the gateway, which is 10.0.0.1. In the case of PC3, what is going to happen? So we will write a command IP route the network of this, which is 192.168.3.0, and what gateway we will be providing is 20.0.0.2. So yeah, let's jump into configuration terminal of router 2. So I have to write IP route. First we will add this network 192.168.1.0. Okay, so what I have to write over here is 10.0.0.1. Perfect. What is wrong over here? Okay, nice. Next, we have to provide IP address, which is 192.168.3.0, and this will be our gateway 0.0, 20.0. This is 2. So perfect. Next, we have to configure router 3. Till now, router 3 only knows about this network, which is 192.168.3.0, and this network, which is 20.0.0.0. We have to tell it about PC's 1 network and PC's 2 network, which is 192.168.1.0 in case of PC1, and in case of PC2, it is going to be 192.168.2.0. So by jumping into router's 3 terminal, which is over here, I will write IP route 192.168.1.0. So what will be our gateway? It is going to be this one, 20.0.0.1. Perfect. Next, we have to add the network. That will be our gateway. This is going to be 10.0.0.1. Okay, so perfect. We have successfully configured the IP routes for router 1, router 2, and router 3. So let's check it. Our next step is to test the connectivity. For testing connectivity, we will jump into PCs and try to ping PC1 with PC2. So do you remember what IP we provide over here to this PC? So in PC1, I will write ping. So you can see we are receiving bytes from PC1. Now let's try to ping PC2 with PC1. Okay, so we are receiving bytes from PC2. Oh, sorry, PC1. So yeah, we have go through all the steps. Let me repeat all the steps again. We have discussed what is static routing. Next, we have discussed what is going to be our network topology. It consists of 3 routers and 3 PCs. Our task was to configure static routes so that PCs can communicate with each other. We have created a new project in GNS3. We added devices, then connect devices with each other, and then we have assigned IP addresses to devices, our PCs, or the ports of routers. Next, we have configured static routing for all the routers so that PCs can communicate with each other. And we have tested the connectivity between all the devices. So yeah, that's it for the video.